welcome bring his ass to this ring. Give me a hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll come down there to that ring. We'll just come bring it to smack us down. I don't know. It's a cold, cold February morning. I'm W.B. Ward.
And I am freezing up in my apartment, Chip Douglas.
It is colder. It is colder, and I mean it is colder than a mother-in-law's kiss, isn't it?
I would say the least, yes. We're sitting here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're kind of locked inside of our own places, doing the show a little bit different this week. We look outside, and we are, I don't know about your car is, but I know my car is covered in snow. And with these treacherous roads and the great city of Tulsa, we're just, we have to find ways to make the show work.
Well, in northeastern Oklahoma, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that is not snow. I bet you that's solid ice.
Oh, I'm not the one that's going to try it. I'm not the guinea pig. I'm not going to try it.
No, I'm staying inside. I'm staying inside all day today. Thank goodness for a telephone, huh?
Absolutely.
It's been a while because of scheduling conflicts and things like that, where we've been able to actually do one of these horror shows. It's
absolutely.
My gosh, it's been what, 3 weeks?
About 3 weeks.
Man, I have missed it. It is a part of my life now.
I know.
This one today is show number 85.
Gosh, 85, 15 away from 100.
Yeah, 85 shows, and covered a lot of ground. We've had some ups and downs in the WWE as of late. We're going to get our take on WWE Fastlane. I have some rather mixed emotions about some of the things that went on. I don't know about you. Did you watch the entire thing from beginning to end?
For the most part, I watched a good chunk of it. I think the only thing I really didn't pay too much attention to was a Divas match, just because I don't care. And this whole Divas movement, I'm not going to give it 30 seconds. I'm going to give it 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
It's stupid. It's pathetic. It's a waste of time. Forget about it.
Okay, we'll find out exactly how Chip really feels about this here in just a few moments. Right now, it's time for Lurch to do this.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What time is it, kid?
Oh man, I have missed that countdown to the tweet of the week.
Oh man, it's just such an epic build-up for something that's so disappointing.
Okay, lay it on us, Johnny.
All right. This Tweet of the Week is brought to you by one of our Hall of Fame Twitterers, WBE Creative Humor. In the past couple of weeks, he has some really great ones. But, since the whole Brock Lesnar walking out thing, I think this one kind of sits really well. And he goes, all is fine. Nothing to worry about for Wrestlemania. On a related note, all Brock Lesnar merchandise is now 99% off.
Do you think maybe they're going to be taking the title away from him in WrestleMania?
Right now, you have to question if he's actually going to be at WrestleMania.
No.
I mean, now you heard the whole story from this past Monday, right?
Well, no, I did watch Monday Night Raw, but I got to tell you what you're talking about here. I'm going, what?
Okay, so here is the story backstage. An incident occurred with Brock Lesnar to make him walk out on Raw before a segment even appeared. He was supposed to appear on Raw, and he decided to take his bag and go home.
So I can't say I'm surprised. No, I have not heard that.
Yeah. So everything's kind of in limbo right now, and apparently there's several rumors, but the one that kind of stands out to be more realistic is the future contract of Brock Lesnar. And I guess him and Vince McMahon had a talk about it on Monday. Apparently it upset Brock enough to where he goes, I'm going home. So realistically, we don't know where we're going to be at WrestleMania. I'm sure they're going to find a way to make it work because they cannot lose this main event. It's too long of a build-up. I'm sure they'll throw everything in the world at Brock Lesnar just to make sure that he will be at WrestleMania. So I think the likelihood of him not appearing is slim to none, but still, that's a scary instance. And what Brock knows is he knows that he has them, has Vince McMahon's grapefruits in the palm of his hand. So, man, he has all the leverage in the world right now.
Now, my memory, as you know, and you probably know better than just about anybody, Chip, my memory is not exactly the best thing in the world. But thinking back to about a year ago, as we built up to WrestleMania last year when Brock was going to be taking on The Undertaker, and it was starting to look like, and many rumors were surrounding that, yes, Brock was going to end the streak. There was one of us who was complaining about Brock Lesnar not showing up a lot and was unreliable, was a part-time. Gosh, I just can't remember who that was though. Golly. But seems to me one of us was really complaining about, oh, it was me.
I don't recall that. I don't recall that at all.
Yeah, well,
I've slept since then.
your memory and one other thing is shorter than mine, so we won't get into that. We won't get into that.
We won't get into logistics and measurements.
But and size matters. But that's one point that I made a year ago, and I'm going to stand by it to this day. I would not say it to Brock Lesnar's face because he would kick my ass. But he's got to be one of the most unreliable. He has one of the worst work ethics of anybody I've seen in show business in years. He just doesn't show up. I can't believe that even up to a year ago, they were putting him in these big matches just because of bull crap like this. Anyway, so that's my unbridled opinion of Brock Lesnar. Now, let's see if we can clear up how you feel about the Divas.
I already gave my 10 seconds on it. It's a waste of breath. The only Divas that matter, in my opinion, is Paige and some NXT Divas. So until they decide to use these NXT Divas, in fact, I would be okay with just putting NXT Divas in WWE and sending WWE Divas besides Paige and AJ Lee to NXT. I mean, if they did that, in Diva movement all the way. But I mean, come on, Nikki Bella as the champion?
Oh, no, I'm in total agreement with you there. As much as I love the Bellas, even I'm going, yeah, that's kind of stupid. But I got to tell you, I do kind of like the angle that they're doing on the tag teams, though, with Naomi and what's her Madoodle? I can't believe that she's part of the family from Canada, and
Natalia.
Yeah, Natalia. I got to tell you, I kind of like that angle with them standing in their individual men's corners, and they're going at it now, and they were once friends. They just turned on each other. I kind of like that. I can see that going some interesting places.
Yeah, I'm okay with that angle too, because it also focuses on the male angle as well.
I do have to admit that that's an old tried and true thing. It's not incredibly original though.
Right. And in that tag team match from Fastlane, I thought was phenomenal. I thought both teams did really well. And it was really good to see Tyson Kidd and Cesaro kind of get some notoriety finally.
Oh, absolutely. Now, since you brought up Fastlane, overall, how would you have rated this particular pay-per-view?
I would probably give it a C+.
I might have gone up to a B myself.
The main event worked.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Most definitely so. It had a lot of good moments in it.
Had some very good moments in it. I still don't agree with the outcome, but that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, as far as the actual match itself, I thought it was a phenomenal match. I think Brian did a great job of making Reigns look really good.
Yeah.
And help build his confidence for the upcoming match with Brock Lesnar. Other than that, other matches, I thought the Usos Kid, the Cesaro match, I thought was pretty good. I was really disappointed in the Wyatt no, not Wyatt. Ambrose, Bad News Barrett. I was really excited about that match. I didn't think it worked. I thought they were really sloppy in the ring, and they just didn't look that comfortable.
Now that particular match, though, I think part of what went wrong with that match actually started when Barrett came to the ring, because WWE as of late has this nasty habit of finding a good thing that works and then they don't use it.
Right.
They kept the moniker Bad News Barrett, but where's the microphone working Bad News Barrett? The guy who's going to come to the ring, and on the way down, he's going to be announcing that he's got some bad news for you. They seem to have totally abandoned that idea. Why is beyond me.
You know why?
Huh.
Because it was getting over.
That doesn't make sense.
Here's why. It's the same thing with the swing for Cesaro. It was getting over with the fans. It was slowly but surely turning him into a baby face. They didn't want that. They wanted him as a heel. So what do? Take away the one thing that the fans like and see if it works. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I mean, it's a horrible idea. But
now, would it have made this match better? I say yes, it would, because it would have added in the element that we liked about Bad News Barrett.
And honestly, I think this is a prime opportunity to see maybe a switch of characters. Maybe see the Bad News Barrett character go face and see Ambrose maybe slightly turn heel. We're starting to see that a little bit already. And, the lunatic friends really becoming that lunatic, psycho, do anything possible to win type character, which I think it would be an incredible heel character. I thought it had been a great time for that switch.
I often wonder if when they look now back to the Attitude Era and they look at Stone Cold Steve Austin, I often wonder if they kind of resent what Stone Cold actually did to heeldom, if you will, because he turned being a heel into something cool, something the audience really loved and actually got behind and went over with. Now they are having this problem with what you were just mentioning about, somebody trying to be a heel. Something starts to go over and the fans really start liking them, and they don't like the audience response to that. I can't help but wonder if maybe they might have a little bit of resentment in their past about and regretting the way that they pushed Stone Cold way back when.
Here's the big difference. Back then, there were 2 writers, maybe 3 at the most. I know there's definitely Vince McMahon and Vince Russo. That was it.
That's 2 writers too many.
And now we're looking at the idea of having 40 to 50 writers.
Oh God!
So too many.
I didn't know it was that many.
Oh yeah. So you got 40 to 50 different ideas getting thrown out. And there's only one opinion that matters, Vince McMahon. So he's looking at all these ideas, and he's just going to take really what he thinks is best, and and take a crap on the rest. But back in the day, they were able to. They were able to be more creative with their characters and let them go that direction. I see Jim Ross had a lot to do with that as well. Jim Ross, to me, had a very good pulse on the business and had a very good idea of what's working and what isn't. So I give a lot of credit to him. I mean, yeah, you look at Stone Cold. Look at The Rock. The Rock was in the same boat as the Stone Cold. He was a heel, and this next thing that smell of The Rock's cooking was picking up steam, and they went with it. Why they don't do that now? I don't know. I think it's just too many people calling the shots, too many opinions. And at the end of the day, they really need to get down and listen to the fans.
I know this would not happen in a million years, but I got to tell you, the one thing that I think would really, really improve WWE, and it would improve it almost overnight, fire every one of their writers, bring back Jim Ross to work behind the scenes, and have him being the sole creative person back there for the entire show.
Be the booker.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This being a booker in a show like WWE, this is where a dictatorship works.
Right.
This is no place for a diplomacy, for democracy. I mean, this is no place for it. A benevolent dictatorship is the only way to go on this kind of a show. Now they had it for a long time with Vince McMahon, but probably because of age and possibly even some health issues, he has not been doing that. And I think overall it has been not working.
Right, and I completely agree with you on that. But anyways, moving on from other matches from Fastlane,
okay,
and stuff that we're going to see towards the future. So talking about the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns match, opinions. How do you feel the outcome of it, and now the build up towards WrestleMania? What do you think?
Well, although I would rather see Bryan in the match at WrestleMania over Reigns. I would rather see that. I do like the way they at least allowed Daniel Bryan to retain his dignity. He was able to go ahead and give up the match and still come out looking really good, while at the same time keeping Roman Reigns a bit of a face and still have some viewer support as well. I think they managed to find a way to have their cake and eat it too. I would have rather the outcome have been different, though, even if it may have cost Reigns flipping back to being a heel.
Right. I really think that's what they should have done in the match. But I do agree with you. I think they did a pretty good job of being able to keep it very divided. I still think the reason for this match was to make Roman Reigns look more powerful. Because of the fact that, oh my gosh, he just beat Daniel Bryan. Maybe he does have a legit shot of beating Brock Lesnar. I think that was the main reason behind it. I still cannot comprehend why on earth they are squashing Daniel Bryan like this. I mean, really, what's the WrestleMania opponent for him now? I mean, I really can't think of anything.
Well, the only thing that I can think of in that regard may be a little bit more backstage than anything, because it makes me really kind of question whether or not Daniel Bryan is physically at 100%, and they may be just simply buying him some time for a full recuperation.
So you're saying, I'm sorry, I took a drink in the middle of that. So you're saying possibly him not even be on the WrestleMania card because of lingering injuries or the fact he isn't 100%?
Well, either not being on the card or in a reduced level like he's been doing in his matches. Because you have to admit his performances have not been, I wouldn't call him lackluster. I mean, he's been doing some good shows, but they haven't had the same kind of fire he had prior to his injury. So it does kind of make me question whether or not he is at 100% yet. They do seem to be softballing him to a certain extent.
So maybe like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, maybe?
Possibly. I don't see him winning that, though. I do see him being put out of the ring just like he was put out of the ring at the Royal Rumble. But he possibly would be in that.
I think it'd be tough. I think because he's still a huge. I mean, to me, he's still the most over person there is as far as baby faces go.
I agree.
So you got to put him in some kind of good context, in my opinion. But I really don't think the Andre the Giant Battle Royal is the best place for him. My personal opinion, I would actually like to see Damien Mizdow actually win that. I think that would just go over so big.
It's funny you should bring that up because he is the one person whom I see winning it at this point. Yep.
So we're on the same page there, man.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be fantastic to see him be able to win that.
Oh, my prediction that I made a long time ago concerning the Rhodes brothers might actually come to pass.
Well, we really saw it on Fastlane.
Yeah,
that was an interesting match. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Now, for those people who may be listening to this who's wondering, what the hell are you talking about? A long time ago, I postulated the possible scenario of Stardust and Goldust becoming enemies in the ring. And since the brothers can't get along, I thought about maybe Vince, the storyline rolling with Vince calling in Dusty Rhodes to mediate between the brothers. And if that doesn't work, just put brother against brother in a match with Dusty Rhodes as the guest referee.
Yep.
I'm really seeing that being a stronger and stronger possibility now.
Yep, I agree. We'll see what happens there. I can see Dusty actually turning on Goldust. And then that way he kind of backs his younger son to kind of pass the torch. I can see that being the way it ends, because a lot of rumors are this is Goldust's retirement match, so it could very be his last match. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
So moving on, one of the big storylines that I'm actually really excited about, that I think they are doing right, Sting and Triple H.
I was going to ask you about that. Was it just me, or did Sting have a little bit of a weak performance in that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you got to look at his age. He's in his, late 50s. I still think he looks pretty good for his age. Beyond that, I think it went well. I really didn't like the silent aspect of it. But I really thought it was still a good segment, all in all. Triple H did.
Yeah.
I think Triple H did a phenomenal job. I like how they encompassed the sledgehammer and the famous Sting baseball bat.
Oh yeah.
I like how they did that.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. Sting was one of my all-time favorites. He was one of the first superstars. Back when I started watching WCW, like in the early '90s, when it first started to come on in the local area, he was definitely my favorite. Just a huge fan with the blonde hair and everything. I've always been a huge fan of him. So it's good to see him in WWE. It's good to see him fight. Have one more match, maybe a couple more matches. Who knows? But at least one.
The WWE did something with Sting a couple of weeks ago that I'm surprised hasn't come back and bit him very hard. It's bit him a little bit, but that's when Sting made the brief appearance in the ring to accept the challenge, the invitation from Triple H to go to Fastlane. Turns out it wasn't Sting at all. It was just some doofus they hired. It was a fake Sting. And when you saw the freeze frame of it, that was as obvious as a cockroach on a white carpet, and it wasn't even a very good-looking Sting. I think it was meant to be that way. I don't know. To me, that seems like a real dangerous move to have done, because that could have backfired on him in a bad kind of way. I think that was planned. I think you were supposed to know it was a fake Sting, just to kind of get inside Triple H's mind. The mind games that Sting always played. So I think that was part of it. I think they're just Sting's mind games. Do you think maybe at WrestleMania they may have a scenario where Triple H is in the ring and all of a sudden he's facing multiple Stings and he has to decide which one is the real one? Yeah. That's interesting. They used to do it all the time. I mean, you have different Stings come out with masks and you just never know which Sting was which. It was really great and it worked really well. Okay. So yeah, I definitely see that being a possibility. Hey, one thing I would like to ask you, since you were between the two of us, you were at the outset more or less the WWE Network supporter. I was the person who was against it. Now that the WWE Network is exactly 1 year old, or will be as of WrestleMania, do you feel like the WWE is in better or worse shape than they were a year ago? Oh man, that's a tough question. I mean, you have to, in different ways. From a business sense, they're a whole lot worse. Yes. I mean, the stockholders are wondering, if this was the right idea. What's the future look like for WWE? I think there's a lot of people scared from an investment in stockholders. Frame of mind. I've heard a lot of people talk about the fact that a lot of investors are just scared for the fact that Triple H looks like to be the person to take over the company. He's never ran a company. He doesn't even have a college degree. So for that guy to take over the company, kind of scares a lot of investors. From a programming aspect, I have mixed feelings. I'm going to say it worked. Okay.
I'm going to say it worked, and here's why. NXT. NXT has become a phenomenon now. I think NXT is the show to watch. I think Raw second. And WB, I'm telling you right now, if you have not watched NXT, do yourself a favor. When you talk about just good old storylines, you can definitely tell that Dusty Rhodes likes these shows and books these shows. Because it gets back down to just pure wrestling, and what they have down there is great wrestling talent.
The way you're talking kind of sounds like it proves my point earlier when I said that being a booker is it's more of an advantage if you have a dictator rather than a whole bunch of people doing it.
Absolutely. And I can't agree with you more. I think it's always good to have people around you to give you ideas when you're kind of stuck. Every great booker had that. But still, at the end of the day, it's your show, and you're going to make the decision. It's always good to listen to people, but it's your baby, and you have to do it. It's your responsibility. But yeah, it's a phenomenal show. So I want to say it worked from that aspect. Of course, I know you're probably going to bring up the pay-per-view aspect of it. Mm-hmm. That's a tough call. I mean, it's just
because they
lost all pay-per-view revenue basically.
Oh yeah. They burned two huge bridges on that one, and they cannot go back to either one. First, they burned their bridges with all of the major television providers: DirecTV, Dish Network, Comcast, Cox. None of them are going to carry them again. They don't know if Vince is going to turn right around and take his ball and run away again.
Right.
And they burn their bridges with the audience. They used to have a product that was worth over $50. It is now barely worth a $10 bill.
Right. So that's exactly it. It's exactly it. I mean, it's month to month, and it's only $10. I mean, they really, and they're giving away for free. I mean, they're giving away for free twice in the past 6 months.
Overnight, they went from a pretty well-respected major television producer overnight to a kind of second-rate internet subscription.
Right.
Man, that really cheapens it. Oh, I know. I just made some major enemies with that statement.
Well, and it goes all back to the fact that they're so concerned about the number of subscribers that I don't think they really care about the money, which they should. Yeah. But I think they really are just concentrating on that number. Well, because they said for such a long time, the expectations were 2 million subscribers by a certain time frame, and they're not even close.
No, and I understand from whence they speak, because of course they're going at it from the idea of you can get a lot more people to spend a $10 bill than you can get a bunch of people to spend $50. Right. And that's the whole idea behind it. But I'm wondering if eventually the backfiring of that, now that we know there's not a chance anybody in their right mind is going to dish out $50 to watch a television show with them on it. No. I wonder if that's going to be reflected in their attendance, and they're going to have to start papering do you know what papering the room means? Yeah, like lowering the lights, the arenas. No, I mean giving away tickets to put butts in the seats so it looks like they have a crowd.
I think they use the shadowing methods more than anything.
WCW did that toward their dying day, and it's part of. It is part of what made them die. It is indeed. Now, as our excuse me, as our beloved theme music plays us out into the into the sunset, it's great to be back.
It's great to be back.
Oh man, I've missed doing the shows.
Yep, and there's so many topics that we still need to talk about. We'll get to it next week. I think we definitely got to talk about John Cena and Rusev, and also just quickly I mentioned, for people who don't know, the release of Rey Mysterio Jr. It was coming. We didn't know when, but it officially was announced late last night.
Man. Lots of things in the fire. Still got, as of this taping, more than a month to go to WrestleMania. Be sure to stick with us and hear all the details as they unfold on this show we call
SCI